Death comes for us all. That's all I know for sure. The question isn't, are you prepared to die? The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?
Welcome back, everyone. Right on schedule, Marvel has released the official HD version of the X-Men Avengers Doomsday trailer, so we'll break it all down. There's so many Easter eggs and references baked into this. Now we kind of see why they left out so many X-Men from Deadpool and Wolverine, because they were saving them for Avengers Doomsday. There are probably even a couple of you that are watching this video that have waited more than 50 years to see the X-Men and the Avengers in the same movie. Probably one of the most notable things about this, one of the best things, is the actual music. I cannot wait to hear more of this X-Men music inside an Avengers movie. Alan Silvestri's classic Avengers music from those movies mixed with classic X-Men music and an updated version of the X-Men the Animated Series theme song that they also used versions of during X-Men 97. Now that we can see the nice HD version of this too, you can actually clearly see during the Cyclops scene on the back patio, like in the backyard of the X-Mansion, that there are Sentinels moving behind him, as in they're still in the middle of a battle, and it looks like the X-Men are losing. I think this does confirm the theory that they're in the middle of a fight with Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom has used the Sentinels to his advantage using his spells. There are rumors that he's using runes. There are runes in the official Avengers poster that look like they're ones that Dr. Doom is using, because the whole poster seems Dr. Doom themed. Using that type of magic to control the Sentinels on their world, which are modeled more after the ones on X-Men the Animated Series in the classic 90s design, like this whole universe is a much more comic book accurate looking universe.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Almost forgot.
Am I going to war or a circus?
What'd you expect? Black leather?
And the really big question now is why? Why does Dr. Doom come after the X-Men? Does he also come to steal another child the way that he yoinked Franklin Richards from the Fantastic Four? And it seems like he might be coming for love in Thor's trailer too. There's this weird common theme that we've seen in all the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers so far, in that you see the Avengers, at least in the ones with the Avengers so far, not including the X-Men now, that have children in them. The Avengers are all starting to have children. Now that we got an X-Men teaser, you have to remember that the X-Mansion is full of children, because that's what they do. They bring them and teach them at the school. That is probably why the teaser starts on the second floor and you see all the battle damage, like the broken statues here, like somebody was here and there was a fight, because the second floor of the X-Mansion is where all the residences are, where all the kids live. If we are seeing little kids in all these different trailers, if that's like the thing that binds all these different trailers together with Dr. Doom going across the multiverse, is it actually going to be Cyclops' child, because his first child is Nathan Summers, aka Cable? Technically, Nathan Summers is the son of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey's clone made by Mr. Sinister, but that feels like a Deadpool joke. We will see if they ever go there in the Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars movies. They might just decide to brush over that. Josh Brolin riding the bench, just waiting to come back in an Avengers movie, just made a huge dig about him during Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, that was a funny joke that Deadpool made at the beginning of that movie. Cable did not test well. The other characters did not test well, but mostly Cable, who also just happens to be Thanos in all the big Avengers movies in Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, and he came back during Marvel Phase 4 in animated form. Maybe we'll see a version of King Thanos in the multiverse during Avengers Secret Wars, though, so like Josh Brolin will come back one way or another. He was talking about coming back as Thanos previously because the Russos are back, and he says he's kept in constant contact with them since Avengers Endgame. But going through this X-Men trailer shot by shot, now that we can pick out more Easter eggs with the crisp HD footage, you start at the beginning of the trailer and they play a somber version of the X-Men theme song mixed with the Alan Silvestri Avengers theme song, the way that all the Avengers teasers have had somber versions of the Avengers theme music so far. Now that we're in the X-Men universe, we get some of their theme music mixed in too. Probably some of their theme music they're going to use during the larger part of the movie too.
Are you prepared to die? The question is...
And it's only Magneto's voiceover that they use over the entire trailer, with the exception of Cyclops' scream at the end of the trailer. Basically starting at the top floor, the second floor of the X-Mansion, and slowly working their way down to where Magneto and Professor X and Cyclops are on the back patio in the middle of the battle that's happening that you see the damage from here. Like I said, there are lamps that are knocked over, there's statues that are knocked over, like there's been a fight in the second floor here, but notice the walls have just been blown to shreds, meaning that somebody was probably in the middle of these halls and stole someone from here, which is why it might be a child that they stole from here. That person would be Doctor Doom. We actually saw scenes of them filming at the X-Mansion. If you look at Doctor Doom's chair here, Robert Downey Jr.'s chair, it's against the backdrop of the wood panels from the inside of the X-Mansion. It was probably one of these scenes that they were filming. It's not really clear where the scenes of him speaking are actually from. It's not from the scenes that we see in the trailer here, it's just from some other completely different scene. He starts by saying, "Death comes for us all," which is also probably a metaphor for Doctor Doom coming and killing some X-Men on his way to try and steal somebody from here. Then we can see they pan into the library and down the steps. You see all the battle damage, like all the debris from another big fight that happened across the library, like they fought their way through the X-Mansion up to the second floor. Then he says, "That's all I know for sure." We get the swell of the Avengers theme music mixed with some X-Men theme music, and we see the broken sign from Xavier's school. It's the same sign on the front of the school when you drive in the gate, but it's also inside the school itself, like on the front of the actual physical X-Mansion. As they continue to pan across the library, like the stacks of books here, he says, "The question isn't, are you prepared to die?" We go to what looks like one of the far parts of the library with Professor X in the back of his chair as he goes to meet Magneto, and notice it is his chair from the classic X-Men movies. It's not the yellow floaty chair that we saw during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I think that's because they want to evoke more of the classic X-Men movies that we actually saw on screen in the classic X-Men universe. There's just a question of which universe this is going to wind up being. Will it be that classic X-Men universe, that classic X-Men team, or will it be a slightly different universe that just happens to be more comic book accurate? Mostly because that's the universe that Deadpool and Wolverine were in at the end of the movie. They were in the classic X-Men universe. So the question is, where are they in all this too? Because I'm assuming that they're not part of this actual scene here. They will enter the movie in some completely different way. I think part of the vibe with Deadpool and Wolverine and anybody else that comes with them from that movie will be a completely separate group from this classic X-Men team.
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today.
But we do know that Channing Tatum is supposed to be part of this classic X-Men team, and they're probably just going to say that it is his team that he spoke about to Deadpool during the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Like, he didn't know where he was from. Was he born on the Void, or was he stolen from his X-Men team? I think the question is now answered. He was stolen from his X-Men team by the TVA. Magneto goes on to say, "The question is, who will you be, or who would you be when you close your eyes?" as you see Professor X's chair, the X wheeling towards him for the X-Men metaphor. What better sign to herald the X-Men coming than an X wheeling its way across frame? We see it as a metallic chess set that they're playing with, and Magneto raises one of the pieces with his powers. My assumption is that Professor X has just kept this at the X-Mansion, and Magneto in this universe wasn't always living at the X-Mansion. He just happens to be here for what's happening with this big battle. There have been a lot of rumors that we'll see a version of Genosha, we'll see a version of his family with another version of Scarlet Witch, and it'll be kind of a House of M type of vibe with the royal family of mutants, like mutant supremacy in this world, and Magneto has his entire family with him. I don't know about Polaris, though. That would actually be pretty cool if they include Polaris in this movie. But I do believe we're supposed to get a flash of another version of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, at least with him. Maybe that version of Scarlet Witch will be played by Elizabeth Olsen, but it won't be the classic 616 official Scarlet Witch that we know from the MCU that died or supposedly died, but we know she's not dead during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. She will be back in a completely different way too. They both seem like they're comforting each other because of the big battle that's just gone down, and they're both wearing comic book accurate costumes. Even though Magneto's doesn't seem quite as comic book accurate, it is. Technically, he's wearing the red underneath his little jacket here, but Professor X's militaristic uniform is based on the green one that he wears in the comics that they did a version of during X-Men 97. So even though they changed it just a little bit, it is based on a comic book accurate costume. Now we just need to see what Magneto's helmet is going to look like, and will it be the same helmet from the previous X-Men movies, the classic X-Men movies, or a more comic book accurate version. Then we get that scene of Cyclops in the backyard. This is like the back of the X-Mansion with the garden behind him, with this giant battle raging, and Sentinels just walking past him in the background. Like the Sentinels are still around, destroying whoever else is trying to fight them. We know a couple of the X-Men that they officially announced during Chair Watch, but not every single one. Like Storm was missing from that. Jean Grey's Phoenix character, or Jean Grey herself, if you're not thinking about her as the Phoenix, was also missing from that Famke's version. She's actually tried to say that she's not in this movie several different times. I don't know if you guys believe her. She might be, or they might save her for Avengers Secret Wars. We will see. I think that there's some of the classic X-Men characters that they'll probably save for Secret Wars. Also, probably one of the reasons why they left some of them out of Chair Watch is that the contracts weren't done for those characters yet.
Billions with a B.
Absolutely love this Cyclops costume. Want to see more of the classic X-Men costumes. There's been an awful lot of fan art out there, so hopefully when they start releasing longer official teaser trailers with all the characters in them, or most of the characters, we'll get some looks at those. But what they'll probably do if they don't release a 5th teaser trailer after the Black Panther one next week is they'll just wait to the Super Bowl, because it's only a couple weeks after next week. Like, we don't have that long between the Black Panther trailer that they're going to release next week and the actual Super Bowl trailer. Streets are currently saying that they're saving the Doctor Doom Robert Downey Jr. reveal for that big Super Bowl trailer, but we will see how they handle that. There's still so many questions, especially what's going on with all the kids during this trailer. If that's an actual thing, or they're just using that for these teaser trailers. Like, are the kids themselves a big part of the subplot in Avengers Doomsday, and is that a good idea? Everybody let me know in the comments, do you like that idea of them using so many children of all the characters, like the main characters' children, as a big plot point? We literally just got a version of that during Thor Love and Thunder, where Gore goes around stealing a whole bunch of little children. Thor passes a portion of his power to all the little kids for like that final big fight in that movie. Now Marvel basically has their own version of Grogu in Franklin Richards, who has the power cosmic, but also technically Love is the child of eternity, so she's super powerful. And if they're doing the same thing with the X-Men characters, Cyclops and Jean Grey's child, Nathan Summers, is also capable of wielding the Phoenix Force. That'd be the huge cosmic scale power that the X-Men characters sort of bring into this story universe. Also, Cyclops and Jean Grey, pretty much any children that they have wind up being capable of wielding the Phoenix Force, not just Nathan Summers. You just have to imagine them going to Josh Brolin saying, hey, we want you back for the X-Men, Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars movies. Oh, what am I going to do? This is great. Okay, I can play Cable, I can play Thanos. Well, we're doing Cable, but we're not doing that version of Cable. We're doing tiny baby Cable. They literally just did a version of this subplot during the X-Men 97 Season 1 with Mr. Sinister being obsessed with Cable, with Nathan Summers. It's all based on a classic comic book arc where Mr. Sinister wants to find a child that's powerful enough to wield the Phoenix Force, and it winds up being Cable, basically. Most of our attention with Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and Great Power has been with Franklin Richards in the Power Cosmic, but the Phoenix Force is probably going to have some kind of role during Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. Like, you wouldn't do 2 giant Avengers movies without doing a version of the Phoenix if you're bringing back classic X-Men characters. And now that we're seeing all these classic X-Men come back, next big question is will any of the First Class era younger X-Men actors also come back too, and will it be in Secret Wars? Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted in the footage that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. We just got a leaked version of the Avengers Doomsday Black Panther trailer with those characters and the Fantastic Four characters meeting the Wakandan characters meeting the Fantastic Four characters. I'll try to do a video of that in the next couple of days too. We'll get an HD crisp version of it in the next week on schedule. Probably the next big question is, will there be a teaser after that too, like a 5th teaser? There have been all kinds of rumors about that, but we know that there's at least 4 because I literally just got that Black Panther trailer. Everybody click here for that video. I'll update the link as soon as I post that, and click here for all the other Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.